Hi, welcome back to my decorating series. We're going back to the 12th floor today for an informal dining room. So I knew I wanted really casual vibes in here. This is a family space. This is not meant for company unless, of course, it's like one of the kids having a sleepover or something like that. It's meant to be convenient and cozy. So I knew I wanted Encanto stuff in here. I knew I probably wanted Tangled stuff in here. And I knew that there were things like this beverage cart or beverage counter, I think is what it's called. I knew that it was a possibility, but it's also completely the wrong vibe. So I stuck it down, but I don't keep it. I don't think the space really needs a full beverage cart, but I would love to see one in a different vibe. And I didn't want to put the tea carts or the coffee carts that I have because I've used them in so many other spaces just because I think they're so stinking cute. But I knew I wanted patterns in here. I knew I wanted greens in here, earth tones, things like that. And I also knew that I wanted this space to be smaller than the standard, how, actually I think I personally made all the rooms big when I added the floors. So that's my own doing. But I knew I wanted this room to be really small and just, just a nook to go and sit and eat a snack or grab, like if you grab a meal or whatever, that you just kind of have a place to go and sit that's convenient to just the kind of personal spaces in the house. But this is where I'm like, okay, these are the pieces. How big of a space do I need? And so I'm blocking out kind of how I want it to look before I go resize the room, because I'm going to measure here in a minute. Yep, here we go, with the floor tiles like I like to do. They just make things easier to mass out for me. So they are a regular tool. And here I am making sure that the sink will fit. And now we're going to resize it. I didn't realize you couldn't do a 4 width or depth or whatever. It's either 12, 10, 8, 6, or 3. So I would have liked to have made this a 6x4, but in the end, it actually works out in my favor to have it be a little bit bigger. And I really wanted it to be a rectangle and not a square. So now, of course, I'm thinking about windows, and you know how I love to do, well, maybe you don't, but if you've watched any of the rest of the series, you know I love to do big banks of windows because I love having a lot of light, and I definitely thought that this space would be work really well with lots of lighting in it. But I didn't want it to be all 3 walls that are exposed to the external walls of the home, I guess, because we're not really being realistic on how this house would look from the outside, structurally speaking. But I don't like putting windows on the interior walls, so the walls that have the doors on them, except for in the main rooms, because they could be external walls too, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just justifying that. But having the room be a little bit extra bigger or extra large compared to what I had originally thought I was going to do when I measured it out meant I had room for all kinds of plants, and lots of windows and lots of plants always make sense to me. So the greens and oranges and things like that were really starting to pick up the pace here as far as the objects or the foliage, I guess I was starting to pick. So I thought really hard about putting that glowy light in here, the flower light, because it was orange and green, but I took it out. I decided that the marigolds were enough of a pop of orange to make me happy. So I'm trying to fill this corner with as much greenery as possible. And I hadn't finalized the walls yet. Much like the last room, I wasn't quite sure what walls I wanted to use, but I wanted this room to be really bright. So some of the other things were a little bit too heavy, like that lilo. Ugh. And I was really torn about using that green vine wall, but the reed wall made the room feel just so much brighter and lighter, which felt like it made the most sense for the vibe of this room with the marigolds and the windows and stuff like that. And so that's the one that went out, and I hadn't used it before. I'd looked at it in a few spaces. Oh, I'm so glad I went and looked for more stuff, because that wonky dresser thing with the plant on top from Alice in Wonderland totally goes in this room with the greens and yellows. Oh my gosh, it was so perfect. The second I stuck it down, I was like, oh my God. So now I'm just trying to find some things to stick in places. I was looking for maybe some place settings. Oh, and fair warning, I may put butterflies in way more rooms than I should, just because they're relatively new for me and they make me feel like spaces are magical when I add them to that. So I'm gonna try my best not to put them in every single room, but if it might make sense for a room, you can probably bet that I will put it down and use them. But I had to take them out because they were making it hard to figure out lighting. So I think I do add at least one set back in. But I also thought this room was perfect for those the beehive lights. They're the right color to go with the greens and yellows in the space. And I haven't really gotten to use them as much as I thought I might when I first picked them up from the premium shop. So I'm really glad that they felt right for this room, and that I could figure out a layout for them that made them make sense, because sometimes, because they're kind of a non-linear string light thing, it's hard to get them to behave correctly above other objects and not feel like they're bunched in one spot in the room. There is a little bit of overlap, but I think it works okay in the end. So, oh, a couple of curtains. I kind of wish I had more curtains in here, but I do a lot of curtain stuff a lot, so I tried to tone it down, behave myself, and not repeat curtains like I like to repeat curtains. But anyway, just filling up some little nooks, putting some stuff in that fits with everything else, getting some art on the walls, and yeah, just little touches here and there to make it feel a little bit more cozy, a little bit more lived in, a little bit more casual, and yeah, just more normal scrolling, looking for a few last minute things. There is a spot that I think I wish I had gotten one more plant in. I meant to, and then I completely spaced it until after I was done. So maybe I'll go back and plunk that in somewhere. But oh, there we go. Butterflies. Told ya. I knew they were coming again. But yeah, look how warm. All right, well, let's go inside and check it out. Back to the 12th floor, just making our way through these rooms. It's kind of fun to try out so many different combinations, and just like the flexibility of how the objects and colors and stuff work together. Sometimes it's really challenging, but look how cute this room turned out. I'm so glad I went with the blue butterflies, because the blues and the oranges really contrast and complement each other very, very well. But if you don't know, if you haven't been to any other video in this series, I'm going to tell you, I love cozy spaces. I love informal spaces. I love spaces that don't feel like too much stuff is like, maybe for some people, but I like a busy room. I like a cluttered room. I love rooms that feel like they could be lived in. And I love, oh, look at that. The little candles on the table. It's just, the glow of it just makes me feel like if this was some place I was visiting or had in my own home, that I could just be myself, be cozy, wear some slippers, you know, grab a hot beverage. Oh, can't sit in any of the chairs, because in order to have them facing the table and close to the table, there's no space for the character to sit. So this is all for show, but I love the little, you know, cabinets. I kind of wish the cabinets on the floor had a cupboard counterpart, because the white ones are fine, but they don't go as well as if they were that kind of wooden beige color. But I love just the feel of rooms like this. I love the plants. I love the wonky dresser over there, the beehive lights. Like, it all just screams cozy to me. And, well, maybe not scream cozy, because if it's cozy, it's probably just going to be like, a warm and inviting friend, like a warm tone. So another one off my list, almost done with the 12th floor, and really looking forward to wrapping this particular floor up next week. That's it for today's decorating adventure. If you liked this video, a thumbs up is a great way to let me know, and a subscription will keep you up to date on my latest shenanigans. If you want to hang out with me live, I stream on YouTube and Twitch on Thursday evenings and middays on Sunday. I hope you have a lovely day, night, time, wherever you are, whenever you are. And I'll see you next time.